Previously on Horizon. Inoptus were top of the podium until technical difficulties and their 36-minute penalty allowed Brunel to finish day 2 in first. But their aggressive victory cost Brunel their new motor, and Inoptus pushed ahead, breaking the single charge distance record and taking first place back on day 3. And after 4 days of waiting, Twente finally made their move, finishing ahead of both Brunel and Inoptus in Oograbbies. AV Next and Carpe Diem faced a rocky few days after the marathon night, but came back strong on day 4. But we're only halfway to Cape Town, and the real challenge is only just beginning. Day 5, the second half of the route to Cape Town begins, and every team still here has earned their place in this challenge. EV Next and Carpe Diem return with fresh energy, ready to see just how much further they can push their homemade solar innovations. For Twente, Inoptus and Brunel, it's not just about speed anymore. It's about taking the lead and holding onto it with both hands. Yesterday ended in Kakamas. Today, the road rolls west to Pofadder. It's a long, open stretch, the kind where moves are made.
I've noticed over the years, like in recent years, especially the top teams have been way kinder to each other, way more helpful, way more open. We actually plan these stops together, at least a bit. We help each other. That has definitely been different in the past. This is, of course, way more fun. It's not that much fun to be here for 8 days and be very secretive and very hostile towards each other, so it's really good that the mood is very good this year. Of course, like technology and engineering, we try not to tell our direct competitors everything, but we do definitely help out other teams when we can. There was one team, I don't quite remember which one, they had an electrical problem. They asked us for help. A couple of our electrical engineers went over and I think they fixed the problem. So especially for teams that we might not necessarily be competing with, who are just here to finish the race and take on their own challenge, we like to help them a lot. I think that those are some of the most fun teams to interact with.
Teams roll into the quiet charm of Pofadder for their first real taste of Karoo heat. Plus, a uniquely South African twist on the solar challenge, potholes. But once teams have navigated their way onto the smooth highway roads for loops, weather conditions are sensational for solar panels. So across the board, teams are chasing personal bests again.
I mean, all in all, it's going well. Being fourth was a surprise. So, I mean, from my end, personally, I think it's going fantastic. Now we've got a good opportunity to charge the car for a little bit while other stuff is happening. Which, I mean, for tomorrow and the rest of the day, that's just fantastic, you know. And if we can keep up what we've been doing for the past 4 days, I think we can finish fourth, which, wow.
That's the goal?
That's the goal.
Brunel, Twente and Inoptus move in and out of the control stop like clockwork. Quick, clean and focused. They've each led the pack before, and once you've tasted the front, nothing else quite compares.
I think we're playing it safe. I think we know what we're doing. I think we know what they are doing. They know what they're doing, and like we have 3.5 days more to race. Like last time, the race was only decided on the last day. We know how hectic it could be, so we're there. We're not that far up behind. We're doing the same loops. It's all right.
Nice.
We're not worrying.
But Inoptus manages to stay ahead, a little further, a little faster. They finished second in 2022, led on day 1, and now they look ready to take it home. With the sun now dropping, teams pull out of Pofadder and set their sights on Springbok, a Namakwalan town tucked between copper hills and wildflower valleys. Day 5's route from Kakamas to Springbok via Pofadder was more than scenic. It shook up the leaderboard again. Twente started their day in front, but they held back and let the lead slip away. By the end of the day, they were tied with Brunel, 6 loops each, with a day total of 605 kilometers. But once again, the day belonged to Inoptus. They pushed 2 loops further, clocking 703 kilometers, setting a new record just 2 days after breaking the last one. They're not chasing anymore. They're setting the pace.
They have illustrated this quantum leap forward in technology to do what they did, to be able to run on a highway in South Africa at 110 like a regular road car with no problem. It's phenomenal. They had prepared for every eventuality. They had teams, everyone in that team knew exactly what their role was. And I think that they're going to be a tough team to beat for maybe a few years to come. They've definitely set down a marker, and I think most of the top teams, whether they compete in South Africa or anywhere else in the world, will look at the performance of that team. Doing 700 kilometers in one day in a solar car in our format, I couldn't actually believe it. It's phenomenal. Doing 700 kilometers in a day in a normal car is quite good. In our format with mandatory stops, loops, everything, road traffic, varying speed limits, all those conditions, to do that kind of performance is phenomenal. And I think the team celebrated it, but everyone celebrated it. It was a collective team, and there was no one individual who had done anything more. The strategist who made the call to go for it was celebrated as much as anyone else, and everyone played their role and everyone knew exactly what they were there to do.
While the top 3 fight for dominance, 4th place has become its own small victory. Team Solar Flare's Razor doesn't look like the other cars. Since clocking 215 kilometers on day 2, it's held steady, consistently crossing 180 kilometers a day and locking in 4th with quiet authority.
We're accumulating the numbers. It's wonderful for us to be here, and I want to end up in captain. That's my big mission.
Awesome.
Behind them, bigger teams have struggled to stay in motion. Solaris, with nearly 2 decades of solar design, arrived confident, but quickly learned design alone isn't enough. Context matters. And then there's Wolves. Bold, well-funded, and here for the first time. Their design turned heads, distinctive, daring, and different. But fresh ideas come with steep learning curves, and in a challenge like this, experience matters. Now Solaris and Wolves are chasing something else, the finish line. Because in this challenge, just finishing is sometimes the victory. Meanwhile, in Cruiser and Innovation class, EV Next holds steady behind Onda Solare. It was also another good day for Carpe Diem. Today, they managed 100 kilometers in total. And tomorrow, there's still another chance to climb.
I think we didn't pray before we came.
Oh yeah, we did.
See, the devil now, the devil is driving a solar car behind us. But no, God is good. We will make it tomorrow. Hopefully it will go good. So yeah, we made it, we made it, we made it.
Tomorrow, the sun rises again, and with it, another chance to climb. Day 6 begins under a thick blanket of mist. Yesterday's heat has been replaced by frozen air and low visibility.
We're actually happy because since charging in Langa Pela, we're actually in the innovations. We can actually put it in a charge. Anywhere we go and there's a plug, we can put it in as well. So today, I feel good because it's not even that hot, not nani. And we're bringing the sun. We're from Pumala. We always carry the sun. Now, Lapis comment, I'm going to take it out, show it to the whole world. Mara, nothing bad today, because I think after we leave this place, we're gonna get to a warmer place. Because here, it's expected very since we're under the mountains. so everything comes down, Mara. All good, feeling good. Woke up cold, but then I'm warm now. We woke up and it was cold.
I think it's going to be an interesting day to see what other teams are going to do to catch up. Yeah, I think in the end, the team with the right strategy is going to win.
Up front, the top three continue their quiet tug of war. Further back, teams are bracing themselves for the long, cold climb ahead.
Unfortunately, there's no sunshine, so you can't bank on the idea that there will be sunlight available to charge your battery. So mainly, I think the first 30 kilometers will be on battery power, so it won't be running as efficient as we hoped for.
In the fog, headlights flicker on, and day 6 begins. Today's route winds out of Springbok deeper into the Namaqualand. By the time teams reach Vredendal, they've crossed into the Western Cape, the final province, the beginning of the end. Up front, the pressure is real. Inoptus have been at the top before and lost it. So now, it's not just about staying ahead, it's about holding their nerve. Because behind them, Brunel and 20 aren't going down without a fight.
Bit of fog, a lot of clouds as well. So yeah, the weather is interesting today, but we're also approaching the west coast, so that makes sense. There are more mountains here, there's the sea, so a lot more clouds as well. So it's something to really take into account with strategy and such.
Good day. We had our penalty, but we are only 5 minutes behind the second team. So we are driving third right now. We already had our penalty, so we made good for 5 minutes already. So that's pretty good.
As the sun begins to set over Vredendal, teams roll into Lutzville. It was a tough day for EV Next, but even through the strain, they clocked 118 kilometers before trailering. Carpe Diem managed 71 kilometers, split between the morning and the late afternoon. Progress, but hard won. At the top, nothing changed, but the pressure is building. Inoptus, 20 and Brunel each matched the other kilometer for kilometer today. But 20 still holds a loop over Brunel from day 4. That puts Brunel in third, 31 kilometers behind 20 and 113 kilometers behind Inoptus. With 2 days left, a full blind stage tomorrow, they've got a lot of ground to make up and not much road left to do it. Tomorrow marks the full blind stage, the most extreme test of adaptability in the entire challenge. Teams only know the finish line. No control stop, no loop details, no route. So this afternoon, after an already taxing day, they'll receive the map telling them where they'll stop, how far they'll be able to loop, and what kind of terrain they'll face. And by morning, their strategy has to be ready. But it couldn't come at a more pivotal moment. It's day 7 of 8, the last real opportunity to change the story before Cape Town. For those chasing the lead, it's all or nothing. And for those defending it, there's no room for error.
So the full blind, I mean, I remember the night before the full blind of day 7, and I gave a very frank conversation to the team saying, if your car can't do this, be very real with yourself. Day 7 I knew was going to be hard. It was the day where if we hadn't decided the winners already, that was where they were the teams that could climb were going to do well in day 7, and they did.
Day 7 begins with a sense of lightness. The final 48 hours are here. For many, there's a quiet joy in simply making it this far.
Yeah, I mean, we trust our drivers, they're very much capable. I think they can handle what's up ahead, so we just have faith in them. You know, we don't believe that anything can give us a challenge. We face it head on, and we do our best to get over.
But for the top three, the mood is very different. Their place on the podium is almost certain, but that's not what they came for. They came to win, and they only have 2 days left to pull it off. And, as if the stakes weren't high enough, today isn't just any day. It's the full blind stage. Last night, teams received the day's route. 247 kilometers to Piketberg, a 27.8 kilometer loop, and a final 65 kilometers to Riebeek-Kasteel. A long road, a blind stage, and the win still hangs in the balance. Teams arrive in Piketberg and waste no time hitting the loop. But not everyone is locked on the road. While teams chase kilometers, members of the Inoptis team take a moment to do something just as important: connect. For many South Africans in small towns like Piketberg, life often begins and unfolds in the same few familiar streets. But today, something changes. Today, a solar car pulls into town, a team from another continent shows up, and suddenly, the horizon stretches further than the 13 square kilometers at the foot of the Piketberg Hills.
Seeing international students interacting with some of our most underprivileged people. In South Africa, we have our problems, but it's things like this where we come together, and yeah, it just worked. Yeah, for me, it's more than just a solar car race, or challenge, I should say. I hate the word, but it's more than just a solar car challenge. What we do is fundamentally unique, and where we go, I like to believe we make a real difference in the world.
But back on the road, Onda Solar, one of the most mechanically sound teams in the challenge so far, runs into trouble just as they attempt their first loop of the challenge. The fact that their first major breakdown only happened on day 7 is a credit to Onda Solar's engineering, but it also says something bigger. This is the world's most challenging solar competition for a reason.
We had a fatigue failure on 4 nuts and all together, and at the same time. At the same time, because we hit a bump here, so they were damaged. You can see here from here how the fatigue progression goes through the bolt. And so, what to say? This is the only part which are not in carbon in the car. So we substituted all the broken parts, and tonight we will substitute also the good ones with the new and more resistant.
After a long, punishing day, teams roll into Riebeek-Kasteel, the second last stop before Cape Town. Surrounded by vineyards and olive groves at the foot of the Kasteelberg Mountains, it's one of the oldest towns in the Western Cape. But today, something newer rolls in. Solar Team 20 unleashed everything they had, clocking an extraordinary 10 loops, more than Inoptis' 9 and Brunel's 8. But even though they led the day, they might have waited too late because Inoptis still leads in total kilometers covered. And Brunel, once a front runner, now firmly in third. A humbling moment for the reigning champs. Further back, the cruiser and innovation class teams continue to shape their own success story. Smaller crews, limited resources, but driven by something just as powerful, a love for the journey and the challenge itself. For Inoptis and Twente, the last night in the camps is a moment to breathe, to celebrate the distance covered and take pride in what they've achieved so far. And in an unexpected move, Inoptis opens their nightly strategy meeting to the cameras, and for the first and only time in the challenge, we catch a glimpse behind the blue curtain.
Today was quite a relaxing day. And because of
we were
the route was chill. We know that we could give 22 loops. We give them one today, and tomorrow we hope we can just follow that, and then victory is ours. But most importantly, like, yeah, it's the day before the final. The day it was a dream 15 months ago. We worked really hard for this. So now, yeah, we're like this close. This close.
Dexter? Dat zie ik, dat is wel.
Oh, camera of geheime dingen zijn. What matter?
As long as they don't tell it anyone tomorrow, it's no problem to do it in English. So, for tomorrow, might be the last day, but it will still be an eventful and exciting day. So, in the pre-part, we will have one of the largest hills, mountains we will encounter this challenge. The idea is, as we can give 21 loop, but we cannot give them 2 loops.
Make sure we win this thing tomorrow. So.
We are green! We are blue! We are green! We are blue! We are green! One team!
But across the field, the atmosphere is very different. Brunel, the predicted champions, now find themselves staring down the possibility that it's already gone. Tomorrow is the final push, and everything hangs in the balance. It's the final morning of the 2024 Sasol Solar Challenge, day 8 of 8. The finish line is close, but it won't come easy. The final stretch of the challenge winds through the Cape Winelands and up one of the steepest climbs of the challenge, Franchuk Pass, a narrow, twisting ascent over 700 meters above sea level. Beautiful, but brutal. And in a solar car, it's more than a climb, it's a test. After 8 days of rising to meet every kind of terrain and obstacle, this final ascent is a symbol of what it means to finish strong in a journey powered by sunlight and sheer will. Let day 8 begin.
3, 2, 1, go!
After a breathtaking drive through the winelands and a steep ascent up Franchuk Pass, teams arrive at their final control stop, the Franchuk Motor Museum. Solar cars pull in, meters away from man-made machines from every era, lined up like milestones of human ingenuity. For EV Next and Carpe Diem, it's a moment of reflection. There are no prizes waiting at the finish, no podiums, just the final hours of a challenge that's consumed their lives for months. But for EV Next, that was never the point.
Having crazy people go into a garage and work on something, and it's crazy until something physical and tangible comes out of it. And to get to that point where something physical and tangible comes out of this dream, it takes like a whole lot of sweat and tears and persistence, but eventually you get there. And I hope that people that watch our journey like get that spirit of like, you know, if I just start and I do something, it'll get there. Like it's possible.
It's been challenging. It's been a challenging challenge. My style of communicating with people has had to change because I've had to lead a team and I'm not really good at leading, I'm good at doing stuff.
While the rest of the field pauses to take it in, the top 3 push to squeeze every last drop of potential from their machines. But today, the control stop is flooded with sponsors, families, friends, and spectators, and the route in and out of Franchuk is gridlocked. In a dramatic turn, a force majeure is declared, a precautionary call to shut down the control stop. Teams are credited with the loops completed, then sent straight to the timed finish. It's a fair decision agreed on by all the teams. But just like that, one team's victory is locked in, and Cape Town is waiting.
I had a moment when we crossed the finish line and you could just see our intention of creating a life-changing experience for the teams. Like it had worked. Every single team that crossed the finish line, and even those who didn't make it there, we had given them something that they will never ever forget. And that is something that, you know, I had envisioned in 2018. So 6 years later, seeing it happen, and you know, there's always the naysayers. People say, you know, you're crazy, you're doing it wrong. As I said, I'm lucky. I've got family. I've got a wife who supports me, but it's very difficult. And you see these kids, and you see that they cross the finish line, and this emotion that it's an emotional thing for them, and for me, it's like this idea, this concept that's so foreign to people, that it just works.
Teams finally cross the finish line, and the results are in. Inoptis Solar Team takes first place. The underdogs, now victorious.
I'm so amazed. This team is crazy. What we did last year, we sacrificed a lot. We worked very, very hard, and to see this as a big achievement, this is so good reward, and I'm so proud of everyone here. It's crazy. Teamwork makes the dream work.
Solar Team 20 finishes second, precise and powerful, right to the end.
Ik weet niet wat ik moet zeggen. Nee, het is heerlijk. Het is een top einde. Ik heb echt de hele race genoten, van het hele team, van de race zelf, van de omgeving. Ik heb me geen betere race kunnen wensen.
Brunel Solar Team takes third, the reigning champions closing strong. Team Mpumalanga's Razor crosses in fourth, a home-built machine with grit and guts. Solar Team Solaris follows in fifth, a hard-fought journey to the end. Genuine JV ends the challenge in sixth, proud parents shoulder to shoulder with their children. Wolves Racing, the bold, brave first-timers finishing in seventh. CUT resilient in eighth, every kilometer hard-earned. In the cruiser class, Onda Solare leads the way, as they did throughout the challenge. Evie Next and their Bumblebee follow in second place, a victory for reinvention. UNISA closes out the class, now invigorated for the next. And alone in innovation class, Team Mpumalanga's Carpe Diem stands proud with a homegrown build and an unforgettable journey. From frontrunners to first-timers, every team leaves with more than a result. They leave with proof that sunlight, skill, and sheer perseverance can carry you across the horizon. This was the Sasol Solar Challenge.
We have already started. We've already started planning for the next one, but I'm excited for the next one. I think the next one is going to be huge. I think the platform we've built now is just going to continue to grow.
You're going to change the route again?
Nah.